Hey, this is just another thing about simple interest, but this time we're looking at some graphs. Okay, so here this first graph is a graph of someone's interest that they've earned over time. So the y-axis shows the interest that they've earned in dollars, and the x-axis shows the amount of time that goes by. So like at 0 years, they've earned $0 of interest, which makes sense. They just have their initial investment. And then we can see as time goes by, they earn interest every year. Okay, so let's answer some questions about the graph. So what if we want to know how much interest they've earned after 5 years? Okay, let's use the graph. So here's 5 years. So if we trace that up to this, it looks like they have earned $600 in interest. Jesus, loud here. $600 of interest after 5 years. So we should be able to understand graphs with interest and be able to answer questions. So we just learned that after 5 years, this person has earned $600 in interest. So that's good. Okay, maybe we want to answer maybe we want to find the slope of the line, because we do that in grade 9 a lot. So let's find the slope of this line. Sorry. Okay, so we know we do have a point on our line. We know that at 5 years, we earn $600 in interest. And we also know that we start at 0, 0. So we can just do rise over run, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're going to subtract the y coordinates, so 600 minus 0, and we're going to subtract the x coordinates, so 5 minus 0, leaving us with 600 divided by 5, which is 120. So 120 is the slope of this line. Now, what does the slope represent? Well, since this is a graph of interest over time, this tells us they earn $120 in interest per year. So every year that goes by, they're earning $120 in interest. That is simple interest. Simple interest is a linear relation because you earn the exact same amount of interest every single year. That's not true for compound interest. But simple interest, you earn the same amount of interest every year. So let's say next question, we want to know how long will it take to earn $1,800 in interest. So we could look at our graph, but it only goes to 1,400. So you could extend your graph and try to figure it out. Or we actually know that the slope is 120 every year. So really, if we know we earn $120 every year, and we want to know how long it's going to take us to get all the way to $1,800, we could say, so $120 in 1 year, we want to know how many years will it take us to get to $1,800. So we could actually do 1,800 divided by 120. Right? That's pretty much what we're doing. We're trying to figure out, 120 times what would equal 1,800. So 1 year times what will give us the number of years. So I'm going to do 1,800 divided by 120, which is 15. So now I know it will take 15 years to earn $1,800 in interest, which does make sense because our graph only goes to 12. So if I had to guess, 15 seems about right. So I just did that I set up a proportion in case that's not clear. There's many ways to solve this. So I knew that 120 times 15 would equal 1,800. So therefore 1 year times 15 will equal 15 years. So I just set up a proportion. I didn't know 120 times 15 was 1800. So that's why I did the opposite. I did 1800 divided by 120 is 15. So now I knew how these proportions were related. Cool, let's check out another graph. So this one is the total amount of an investment. So it's not just the interest, it's the total. So it's interest plus principal. So what this graph shows us is by starting at 4,000, that's actually their initial investment. So we can see that at year 0, they have $4,000. So their principal amount of money or their initial investment was 4,000. So let's say we wanted to try to figure out what their interest rate was. Let's try to figure that out. How much money are they earning every year? So let's try to figure out the slope of this line. So I can see 2 points that are easy to read. I've got one at 0, 4,000, and I see another point at, in 50 years, they earn $5,000. So if I do the slope of that, so if I subtract, so I'm going to do slope, 5,000 minus 4,000 is 1,000, and 50 minus 0 is 50. So, sorry, I just had another thought. Okay, but we'll keep doing it this way. So the slope of my line is 20. Does that help me? Let's see. So I know my formula is interest equals principal times rate times time. Maybe I don't want the slope. What would the slope be? The slope would be the total amount of an investment divided by, so it would be like $20 per year. Okay, so I could use the slope because I know I'm earning $20. My initial investment was $4,000. I don't know my rate. And I guess I would put 1 for time because to get my slope, so my slope is $20. So now I know that after 1 year, I've earned $20. Yeah, so that was my interest earned, $20 in 1 year, and I invested 4,000. Okay, so let's rearrange this and isolate R. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4,000. I don't need to divide by 1 because it will just be the same thing, so I can cancel those out. And R times 1 would just be R. So now I just have to do 20 divided by 4,000. And I get, oh my gosh, 0.005. 0.005. And then if I want to convert that to a percent, I can times it by 100. Or just move the decimal 2 places to the right. So I can see that my interest rate is 0.5%. That's a small interest rate. Okay, so there was a couple ways you could have done that. I think I did it a weird way. So just pointing this out, you don't have to get the slope to do this question. This is what I was thinking when I was doing it. The slope's cool because we can see you're earning $20 in interest every year. Or another way to do it would have been just pick a year. So like we could have picked 5,000. So we could have figured out, that we made from this year to this year, we made $1,000 in interest and we invested 4,000 at a time period of 50 years. So you could have also done it that way. Instead, I calculated the amount of interest you earned per year. Okay, cool. So that is just an example of, seeing a graph of an investment and trying to calculate some stuff about it.